Just wanted to say hello to everybody. I'm the host, Kilovoltage. We're here interviewing the Radical Penguins group on. They have a project on Radix, which is radixdlt.com is their official website. And just like a disclaimer for everyone, make sure you do your own due diligence. Everyone here is probably interested in penguins, so you should assume that we all love this project and do your own research. So just want to say hey to you guys. Could you just introduce yourselves?
Absolutely. So I am the ice penguin, and I usually manage the, let's say, the non-art part of the project. And I want to hand over to I think the star of the show, my co-host, our creator penguin.
Hey everyone, yeah, I'm creator Pengu, or art Pengu, or however you want to call me. I do all the 3D art and the crazy mappings and all of that stuff that's going on behind the scenes to make penguins come to life.
That's awesome. And are you guys based? I'm in the Sonoran Desert kind of region of the United States. Are you guys both based out of the UK, or are you one of you guys in like the States somewhere?
So I'm based in the UK. I spend most of my time working in London, but physically I'm actually based south of London, next to the coast. So I can both enjoy a very, very busy life there, but also come into a very, very small town that probably nobody heard of and just chillax and disconnect from the world and then, yeah, reflect and have time to do wonderful stuff, such as getting involved in the crypto scene and obviously in penguins.
Sure. What's the weather like in the UK this time of year? It's like probably 90 something degrees Fahrenheit where I'm at.
Oh, so here it's absolutely gorgeous right now. We're blessed with beautiful weather. This morning, I was actually swimming in my new wetsuit, which was great. I was gonna go surfing, but not today. So yeah, I don't know. It's great. We do measure things in Celsius. I think right now it's above 17 degrees Celsius. So it's not necessarily the best time to swim, but you know what? If you're crazy, you're just gonna do it.
So you're like
So
swimming in the ocean, or is it like a river?
well, it's the channel. It's the channel between the UK and France.
Oh,
So
the
it's
English Channel.
quite,
Gotcha.
yeah, yeah. So it's quite cold, but you know what? Why not? And here you can,
That's awesome.
yeah, you can get involved in so many water activities. So you're paddleboarding, kayaking, which is super relaxing, especially after, let's say, I'm in London. I'm doing some technology work, quite busy in a high power scenario, and then you just come, I know, have a drink, relax, and then you just see the world go by. It's beautiful.
Sure, sure. How about you, Penguin Creator? What part of the world are you from?
So I'm born in Bucharest, but I travel a lot to the States. I also have a creative studio that has offices in the States. Right now it's pouring outside, but usually my town is during the summer is like 90 to 105 degrees, so pretty toasty.
So you're mostly in the States, or you're mostly UK based?
I would say I'm traveling equally.
Oh, okay,
Uh,
cool.
yeah.
So could you guys tell us? I don't know if you want to talk together or one at a time. Tell us a little bit about your background as to the technology side of things and what got you interested in cryptocurrency and specifically your journey into the Radix, if you could.
Oh, okay. I think we should actually talk together and see how this goes. I'll probably start. So my background, my let's say professional background, started I don't know 10, 12 years ago in finance slash accounting, and I usually worked across Europe. And I've met all sorts of weird and wonderful clients and people. And because I came from this financial background, some people introduced me to something called the Bitcoin. This was like back in 2012, I think. And they were trying to describe it, and nobody really know what it is. But anyway, I kind of stuck around with that. And I think in 2014, I was experimenting a little bit with this crazy. I don't think it was called cryptocurrency back in the day. It was called different. Anyway, e-money, virtual currency, virtual stuff. And I actually built my own Bitcoin miner, which was quite cool. I mean, like kind of $30
That's
with a
very cool.
liter. Yeah, yeah. It was freaking awesome. So I built that, and yeah, I kind of took it from there. I remember, I think at some point Bitcoin was like $200, and I thought, should I buy one? It seems like a good idea. I believe in it, I understand what's there, but what if it all disappears and it all goes to zero? So I was having this no this doubts. But I think what really, let's say, kickstarted my interest was obviously, by the way, all of my stories kind of end up in a pub or a bar. So I was in this pub and I was talking with the pub owner. It was a locally owned pub. And I was telling him about Bitcoin. And he was like, you know what? If you can create me something that I can take payments in Bitcoin, I will do it. So this guy basically charged the equivalent of $2 or $3 for a pint. So and that kind of got up and running for a few years. So I think the guy is absolutely minted. But because I set up that way in which he can take payments for his bar, then I kind of learned more and more. But anyway, life kind of moved on. I've changed my jobs a couple of times. I've stepped up in bigger position. I segued from accounting slash finance to fully digital and to business. So I was doing a lot of mergers and acquisitions, and I was buying a lot of companies, including technology companies. And one of the companies that the company that I was working with purchased was a relatively medium-sized technology company of 200 plus people. And I was spending a lot of time with this technology company, working the integration, understanding how they work, trying to merge the mindsets. And I've met a couple of extraordinarily interesting persons there. Anyway, I'm not gonna tell you the name of those persons, but one of those persons left, and he joined a company called Radix DLT as a director. And of course, because we work so well together, in his previous role, we kept in touch. We had similar interests, so we kind of kept in touch in our personal lives. And he told me about Radix, and I thought, another crypto stuff that yeah, you just invented overnight. And then he introduced me to Dan and well to other people as well.
Very,
And sorry.
I just think it's very interesting. I'm just agreeing with you.
Oh, okay, cool. So he introduced me to a few of the people there, and I began to understand. Wait. This is not just your average chain slash coin slash crypto project. This has a lot of deep value, and there's a lot of thought put into this process. So I began to read the white paper and really began to open my eyes to Radix. And then I said, you know what? Let's just get involved, right? Let's go on this Telegram thing. Let's go on this Discord thing. Let's start. Let's go on Twitter and let's start talking with people. And I realized, look, the community here is extraordinarily good. They're very welcoming. That they welcome me into this Radix village, and I absolutely loved it. I mean, I absolutely fell in love in a way. Weirdly enough, if you wanna go to, let's say, Solana or Ethereum or any other similar projects, there's nobody welcoming you there. There's only people trying to scam you, like from the
Yeah.
moment to step in. So this was so refreshing. And then you see random people that I haven't heard about them before. By the way, this was like a year and a half ago, and they were just offering random stuff, like Bobby Flay or Be Like Water. And I thought, oh, this is cool. but is this real? And then I won something. I think a Scorp, which was
Oh, neat.
yeah, like $20, 20 radix back in the day. So that was quite cool. Um, and I think when I joined, that's when I think the first NFT project appeared, which was called the Radical Striker something. And I think I bought a rifle or whatever. And then Stan released his Scorpions, which I think he brought over from a different chain. They weren't released. And I said, you know what, this look cool. Let's just buy a bunch of them. So I did. And then I think the nerds appeared, and I bought a lot of nerds as well. And then I realized this is cool. This is working. The community is mind blowing. I mean, I'm just looking at my phone and I'm just having tons of fun. In a way, like in a parallel world. So why not give back to the community? Why not create something that's cool and that people can love? So that's when I got back in touch with my childhood friend, who's on the other side of this Twitter space. Um, he's actually a very accomplished designer, and I'll let him talk more about that. And yeah, I introduced him to Radix. I didn't tell him about my ideas at first. I want to see if he actually genuinely likes it, and if he has a spark of interest in this. Interestingly enough, he did, and I think the rest is history.
That's
So,
that's a really cool story. I'm actually going. I talked to Vlad, who's the nerds guy, and we're
oh
going to talk to him too eventually, probably within the month. There's a lot going on at home right now with my job and things, but that is one of my plans. He has a lot. It kind of reminds me of you guys a lot from when we were talking before. He has a lot of things that he's working on in the background as well, which we'll talk more about your stuff today. You have a lot of cool things that you're working on right now.
yeah,
Anything you want to add to that, Art Penguin?
Yeah, sure. So, to your question in terms of background technology, I think it started back when I used to take apart computers when I was a kid. And then I sort of got into programming, and then I got interested in design. So I've been doing that for about 17, 20 years, something like that. And I always liked 3D and character design. I think I've been doing character design since I started designing. Um, and when my friend approached me, he told me about a project. I mean, he told me about Radix, and then we kind of bounced some ideas off, and we were thinking of doing this. I thought would be a good, this is a hobby project for us, so I think it was just a great way to spend time and create something. In terms of like background in the crypto space, I was part of the 2017 rush. I learned not to panic back then, and I kind of stayed close to this industry. And then, yeah, it kind of made sense for me to to apply my knowledge and my pastime into this hobby and design some cool characters.
Your art is really amazing. It's
Thank you, I
also,
appreciate it.
yeah, yeah. I have a degree in graphic design that I don't use. I'm actually a medical person. I work in like radiology, imaging space, and kind of a leadership slash slightly technical role. But just my similar experience to you guys. I think I was a little later to Bitcoin. It was like $2,000 a coin, I think, at the time, and I went and took out a loan, and like everyone thought I was insane, I think. But then I paid the loan back in like a week and pocketed all the money. It was a cool experience. And now I think we've seen enough cycles in the market that I don't feel like I'm not concerned about this downturn. I feel like it's a real opportunity. Like pretty much everyone that's here watching, and this is one of those do your own due diligence kind of statements. But I feel like we're all in a really great opportunity to get Radix really cheap right now. So it's good to be here, and it's good to see the community still extremely active when the market is so bad. I feel like there's a lot of future potential coming up for Radix really soon, and it's cool that you guys are a part of it and all the things you're working on.
And the thing is, look, if you look on Twitter, everybody's very negative at the moment in general. But here, people are just they just have blazing vibes. They're talking about a new Halo Scorp, which sold for like 40,000 XRD. I see new NFT projects coming on each day. Obviously, Babylon will be here in 6 to 9 months. So
Yeah,
we're seeing progress. And most importantly, if you look at Radix work, as in the project that holds this, they're hiring a bunch of people, right? That's
agree.
deep value. They're building stuff. And I think if you wanna revolutionize the DeFi world, yeah, you kind of have to have a real strong team behind you, which is what I absolutely love about this.
I agree with that a lot, and it seems like they're making all the right moves. And I think you sound like you especially would have a really good view into that, then that you kind of know a couple of those people, and the fact that you're so bullish is telling of how great the project is. It really inspires confidence. And again, people should always do their own research, because I don't want to have anyone saying, "Well, you told me you should do this," but I feel like this is a really solid project. I won't harp on it too much, though. Let's talk about why we're here. So you got involved in Radical Penguins, and I want to hear about. Let's talk about the base project first, and then maybe we can get into tributes and the marketplace and the sales. How many is the base? How many penguins are in the baseline,
Yeah,
and what's the cost? I know that's kind of changed over time. And let's talk first about like the basic project, and then we'll get into those special parts of it.
yeah, absolutely. So when we designed the first project, we said, look, 10,000 seems like a large collection, but also that means we can apply our creativity to it. And it means we can have a lot of models that we can give to the public, and hopefully somebody can see themselves there. So whether you're a lawyer or a chef or I know a boxer or just a random guy that likes to listen to reggae music or whatever, you should find something that you like there in the Radical Penguin style. So we wanted to have a 10,000 collection, which is quite large, but also it gives you that choice. And then we thought, look, we want to really give something back to the community in a way, and to also make this project special. And in a very maybe from a selfish point of view, you can think that after you sell your project out, there isn't much incentive for a creator to stay very close. You kind of walk away, and if it catches on, that's great, and you get some royalties. If not, you don't really care because you sold it. However, we didn't want to do that. And we said, look, let's create a very small parallel project, which we call tributes. There are only going to be 100 of them, but we release them very slowly. And they have two purposes, really. One is to react when important events happen and to try to raise money for those events, to donate to charity, and to make the world a better place. But the other one, which is the indirect effect, is about keeping the buzz going for the main project. Because let's say you create, I don't know, let's say that there's a humanitarian crisis or a volcano erupts, or maybe there's an amazing event that happens in the world, a positive event, and you want to celebrate that. We can do a penguin, a very highly bespoke penguin. Hopefully, it will be sold for a fair amount of Radix, but then people will talk about that. And the more people will talk about that, the more it will benefit the main project. So that was kind of the angle to support the main project, to keep us interested in the long term, and to make the world a better place. In terms of pricing, I think we started at 150 Radix per penguin, and we had a step increase. So we started at the same price as Nerds, which I think at the time when we launched was the priciest project. And then we always kind of wanted to be double because of the 3D element and the amount of work that we're putting in it. So we kind of increased it step by step when we hit certain milestones, um, until we reached that price. And our I know in a way we always talked about pricing, and some people tell us, look, you can actually put more money into it, you can ask for more, but then we thought, look, we really want this community to get the most out of it. We don't want to sell it very, very cheaply because this costs us, and we have to buy some render farms and some new kit to actually make it work in a feasible way. But we don't want to make it prohibitive. So that's why I think 300 XRD, which will be the final price, is not going to go hard than this for the main art. It's a good balance. And for example, I mean, myself, almost weekly, I get a message in my inbox on Twitter saying, hey, I'm whatever influencer, I have 100,000, 200, or 300,000 followers. Pay me $100 and I'll just tweet about your project. And we always say, no, we just want to sell this to the Radix community. That's it. We don't want to reach out. We just want the community to spread the word. So we're very, very focused on our beloved community, and yeah, this is a way of giving back, just by keeping it here. Of course, what happens in the future after a project is sold out and after a lot of things happen, we'll see. But yeah, hopefully people appreciate that, I guess.
How many tribute penguins have you produced of the 100 so far?
We've produced 4. The first 3 of them are dedicated to 3 directors of Radix that we especially know. So if you looked on our website, we have Dan, who's I think the mastermind behind what we now call Radix. And when we produce, for example, Dan, we wanted to bring his personality in. So we know he loves cars and he actually likes to tune his car. So that's why we created him in that way. Then we created Pierce being the CEO. And all the community makes fun of his red hair. So we've made the red hair for him.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, I know. But there's not too many people that know he has a black belt in karate. So we've
No, I
put a
did
black
not know that.
belt.
So you can't make fun
Yeah,
of him too much.
no. Yeah, you have to trade carefully. And then Andrew or Andy, who absolutely loves scuba diving. So that's why he's like the scuba diver penguin. And that was the plan: create 3 out of 100, and then stop until we sold the collection and a few months pass, and then we want to create, I know, a big event comes along where we're going to create buzz around the project. So that was the plan, but then again, global events kind of got into the way of that.
Sure. Yeah, it's been a wild experience in this past year with the Ukrainian-Russian experience, and that I feel like the Ukrainian penguin the 4th tribute.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a
So
really huge thing for me when I saw that, and kind of gave me a lot of gravity to how high your goals are and how awesome your project had potential to be. Can you talk a little bit about that particular one?
absolutely, I'll begin a little bit, and then I'll hand over to the person who actually created that. So I actually remember the day, I mean, the 24th of Feb, when it all started, and I was actually in an office, and I remember that everybody was absolutely silent, and this was a very, very chatty office, and nobody was talking about. And then my art penguin messaged me and say, "Dude, we need to do something about this. Let's make a tribute and let's just donate to this somehow." And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So it all started on the 24th of Feb. That was the first day. I think we unveiled the penguin on Saturday, and then we asked for people to just pledge to donate to charity, and the person who just pledged the highest will then receive this free NFT, right? We didn't want to make anything out of it. We just wanted to help. But then, as you all know, it just blew out of proportion.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I
massive.
remember seeing Bobby's. Wasn't I think Bobby got up to, tell me if I'm right here. Wasn't it like 20,000 or something? And I thought this guy's
Correct.
gonna win this for sure, and it just exploded.
I agree. I mean, I messaged Bobby in private as well. Then I thought, wow. I think initially he pledged a lower amount, and he said, "Look, I'm gonna go even two times or two and a half times," which I think it was the 24K. And I was like, wow, this is beyond my wildest dreams. I thought if we raise maybe $1,000, that would have been successful for us. But yeah, this was massive. And then we had a lot of wells that we had no idea about. They actually, some of them are mildly active. I mean, we can't tell them who they are, but to my
Sure.
surprise, some of them will be persons that you would recognize. You don't know them, but you recognize the name. Would be like, oh yeah, of course, yeah. Maybe you've talked to them.
Right.
Yeah,
There's a lot of huge whales that don't necessarily. Some of them are more public than others, but there's definitely a lot of large Radix investors that aren't super active, and there's a couple that are also. I feel like.
yeah, no, absolutely. And they've messaged us and say, look, we want to we want to make a difference. We want to make a donation. We're happy that we can choose the charity, but our number one priority is that we want absolute confidentiality. We do not want our names to be public in any way, shape, or form. And there were a few people asking us at the same time, and yeah, and making bids and donations. So yeah, it was absolutely crazy. I mean, when we seen that amount of money, I was just, yeah, I couldn't even fathom how that amount of money would look like physically, let alone just to be in the position to donate it. So yeah, that was awesome. Another key takeaway, which is not really something that people seen, is that one of the whale, when the bidding war started, said $100,000. I was like, what? That's insane. And literally 3 minutes later, he just took a picture with his phone, literally where he was standing. And he just sent it to me, where I could see his laptop, the payment, the token, name, everything. And then it got up to 200,000. And he just did that. He just he just donated to a different charity, another 100K, and said, look, I just donated it. I was like, dude, what are you doing? It's just pledging. You can donate at
Yeah.
the end.
Yeah.
I don't care. I want to make a difference. And yeah, that was just mind blowing.
And all that is that true that all the funds that were raised were basically charity donations?
Yeah, absolutely. So initially we had this confidentiality issue and we couldn't say anything, right?
Which is
Yeah,
totally understandable. I
yeah,
don't know
but
the exact reasons behind it, but it makes a lot of sense given the context of we're talking about like superpowers with Russia being
yeah.
involved in a war. I can see why anyone would not want to disclose their
So
identity. Even like
yeah.
today, like pretty much most people are not doxxed because they don't want people to get too involved in their finances. I mean,
Yeah, no,
there's a kind of a fine line, like where you want the community to know enough that they can trust you, but you don't want to give out too many personal details because you want that privacy and anonymity to protect yourself.
absolutely. And actually, that was a very fine line. So one of the wells told us, look, this amount of money can be seen as a political statement. People are dying at peace negotiation, and we don't want to be known because we're more or less public. People can find us. So that was one of the reasons. But then again, the question was, is it all real? Nothing happened on chain. So even us were questioning, is this real? I mean, you can fake a picture, right? It's not
Sure.
difficult to fake a picture. So we've said, look, guys, can we see some bank statements? And everybody sent them like immediately without any delay. And this is from more people, including Bobby, who came public, so I can talk about that. So he sent a few bank statements as well, or print screens from his banking system. Um, so that was cool. And then because we're relatively close to the Radix project itself, we are asked if we want to verify this a little bit more. And then again, I reiterated the confidentiality concerns, and I was told by Dan. I had a private chat with Dan, and he said, "Look, ask the guy that donated 2.2 million if he's willing to have a chat with me and to share that information with me as well." And I made that connection, and they've discussed. And after they discussed, I had a discussion with Dan, and Dan said afterwards, "I have no doubt in my mind that it's legit." So
That
I
is
have
awesome,
Dan.
man. What a cool
Yeah,
story.
yeah. So I have Dan telling me that I've seen the bank statements with the money going in. They all happen like this. So from my point of view, it's I'm beyond doubt. I'm 100% sure it happened. So yeah, I'm absolutely happy. But I've talked a lot about this, and I want to hand over a little bit to the art penguin, because if you look at the picture, yeah, it is a little bit controversial, but I want him to tell you a little bit about the picture itself and why he chose to make it like that.
Yeah, we'd love to hear that.
Yeah, thank you. So I think I started thinking about it because we already, when we created the tributes for the directors, they wanted to donate them. So we thought, hey, that's a pretty cool idea. Um, and we could have some really good impact. And then when the war broke out, I also have some employees that have families that are from Ukraine, so I felt very close to the topic. And I just, the thing that really got me was these people were essentially forced to kill other people and defend their homes. So this is why, you kind of see the gun on the back of the penguin, but you also see the penguin crying because they do not want that. They just want to live a peaceful life, and they're being forced into defending their country. So that's kind of how it started, and I think I did it. I just like started working on it, and I didn't get up from the computer until I finished it. So it was just like in one go, and I think it was like 4 a.m. in the morning when I was done with it. And yeah, and then I sent it to my colleague, and that's the rest is history, I guess.
How long would you say it took you to do that project? Like, how many hours would you spend working on something like that?
That particular one, I don't remember exactly. I know I started, I think, on a Friday evening, something like that, and I got up from the computer at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. in the morning. So probably over 8 hours
Oh, wow.
into like tweaking and trying things and thinking, like, because this was also like I want it. It wasn't like the fun quirky. Oh, that person is interested in scuba diving, so let's put a scuba diving
Sure,
costume on
sure.
him. It was more of like, what's the message that I want to send with this one? So it takes longer to kind of tweak things and try out various things and see like what works, what doesn't work. Um, yeah, so I guess over 8, 9 hours roughly.
I feel like all the like that one in particular is extremely special, but I feel like it kind of personifies my view of all the penguins, which is that in some ways the art is all very simple, but in other ways it's also very profound and complex. Like you said, you spent a lot of time on it trying to get it right because there was a lot of gravity in that piece of art.
Yeah, definitely.
Can you talk about where do we go from after the tributes and the main Radical Penguins group of projects? You have a lot of other things that you kind of have planned down the road. What other parts of the penguin ecosystem are you working on?
Well, there's a lot. We just need to find time to do it, I guess. So right now we're developing the main artwork. and actually to circle back a little bit to a previous topic about the complexity, when we are brainstorming this project and we're trying to understand how to best do it, at some point I think we said, look, if we really wanted, we can finish this in a week or two, but it won't be at the level of quality that we want to hold ourselves to account, and that we want to give to the community. So that's why we're taking a long time. We're asked almost on a daily basis, okay, when are you going to release? And I always say, look, it's going to take a month or two, we think, but it might take longer or shorter, depending on I don't know how we feel in that moment, the inspiration that we have, and all the cool assets that we're doing. Of course, to create those penguins, we'll have a predetermined number of assets or design assets, layers, etc. And we want to make sure they're perfect, and then we want to scale them up, test smaller batches like a few hundred and then a few thousand, look at the rarities, put all those cool stuff in before we release it. We want to make sure that once we release it is as best as it can be. Because the reality is, after you release it, it's done. You cannot change it.
Right.
So that's the main one. You know, absolutely get that nailed, the 10,000 one in a few months, I hope. But if it takes a little bit longer or shorter, I don't think anybody will mind, because the end product will have to
Yeah,
speak for itself.
agree.
Yeah. Then we have, on the artistic side, we have the tributes, which, if let's say we release one every couple of months, that will really keep us going for years, really, to be involved. But we have a lot of ancillary things, because we love doing donations, and I mean, I do a lot of charity work, and I know my colleague does as well. We want to make sure that NFTs are not just this safe haven for money launderers and tax evaders, but that they can be a force for good. And I think we have a very good story here. So I want to start this NFT for Good initiative, where we will publicly pledge at some point that a percentage of all our royalties will go to good causes. And but the good part of being with Radix is that we are not alone. So if we start this NFT for Good initiative, I want to kind of encourage other projects to follow our lead and to give something like a badge. So if you're, I know, Panda or whatever, robots or whatever nerds, if you pledge that, 1%, 2% of your royalties will go to good causes, charities, etc., you'll get this badge, which is like a, penguin NFT for good badge or something like that.
Sure, that's awesome.
Yeah, and yeah, I think it's part of, well, making the world a better place, and yeah, doing our part
It kind of
for the
feels like
community.
that's sort of the thing you were saying earlier too about how the community is so generous. I see you got Be Like Water in here, and it's a good example of like a generous person. Like what you're saying is exactly in line with like the values of the community. Not necessarily set by Radix DLT, but like for whatever reason, all the Radix investors and fans. And Radix DLT is great too. Don't get me wrong, but it seems like the community itself is really holding that spirit, and it's cool that that you're pushing something like that. I really like that idea. That's great.
Yeah, and it's not just us pushing it; it's actually the community transforming us too as well.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example. I remember when we did our first giveaway, I think we bought like, 20 scorps and I think 5 roids and a few others and some pandas and some skulls that we purchased from our XRD. And we wanted to say, look, if you, retweet this, you're gonna have a chance to win. But before we did that, we said, hey, let's invite other people to join this. Let's put them in there and just say, look, if you're a project, if you're, Radish or whatever projects were there, just join us. Go on the bandwagon, and yeah, just join us and donate with our giveaway. And I think our first giveaway was such a massive success. I think we ended up giving away almost 100 NFTs or something like that. Not because we purchased them, but because other projects donated through us. And then we thought, this is amazing. I mean, we can do amazing stuff by ourselves, but together with this community, I mean, we're unstoppable. Us together,
Really
right?
true. Yeah. 100%.
So that's what we did for the next giveaways. We say, look, we're gonna do this. We're gonna buy from other people as well because we love their art anyway. So if we love their art, probably others will love their art as well. And then we invited them to come along, and a lot of people did, and I'm extremely happy about that. So and we always try to involve other people and to be as collaborative as possible. So yeah, we just, you know what, if we're here, if this is our story that we're building on this amazing blockchain, yeah, let's make it as cool as possible, right? Us, it's always better, bigger than me. That's it. And it's
It's
also funner.
sort of like the thing, you can go quick if you go alone, but you can go far if you go together.
Right on.
We're kind of like that. That could be like the unofficial Radix community logo. We're going to go far. We're taking over Web3. We have a lot of plans. We're going to go together.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely right. So we love that. But not to deviate from your question. So yeah, 10K art release, then slowly but surely the 100 tributes. And the next question is where to from there. We reserved 500 penguins for the project, and we're gonna slice and dice those 500 penguins into more buckets. Maybe 100 to 150 will be for marketing, so more giveaways. And then the rest, we want to use them in other projects. So, for example, when a project, I cannot say their name, when they're going to launch their second game, they're going to have some penguins characters. And you will be able to play with one of those 50 penguins that we'll set aside. And we're hoping to replicate, we're hoping to put some penguins aside out of those 500 penguins that we ring fenced, and to help, well, to give to other projects to use them in their games or their applications. So hopefully you'll be able to play a game using a penguin. And obviously, if you're a penguin holder, you'll get like a special entries or a special prize or a special perk in the game. So hopefully that will happen. We're obviously relying on other projects building stuff for us at some point or with us, but we see it as a win-win, right?
Yeah.
They get something, yeah, they get something that's recognized. We get something because we use the penguins there, so that's great. Also, we spend some of our time helping to build a future Radix marketplace. We just have the design elements, so we're going to design a part of a future marketplace that's hopefully going to be launched soon. We're not really close to the development cycles or other cycles, but yeah, fingers crossed that will be a success, or at least one of the main marketplace that will be out there. Obviously, they'll have penguins there trading, so that will be cool.
That's huge.
So, yeah, fingers crossed.
On that point, are you planning on launching that before Babylon, or that'd be a post-Babylon project?
Oh no, it has to be before. Absolutely, it must be before. Even our main artwork should be ready before, and then when Babylon hits, then we just have to translate it into Babylon and upgrade the coding and do the smart contracts. But yeah, it should be before. Exactly like the Scorps did it, right? It's before Babylon. Stan found a good way to do some trading. So yeah, let's replicate that.
Sure. Is it a marketplace? Sorry, I just want to focus. Is the marketplace exclusive to Penguins, or will it be like multiple projects?
Oh no, anybody can join. We're hoping. Obviously, we don't own the project. We're just a small part of it. But
Gotcha.
the discussions are, look, let's make it as inclusive as possible. Let anybody join. If they want to be non-exclusive, fine. Let them sell on their own website or be on a different marketplace. There are a few that I know have been announced. So let's just make a place that's
cool.
Yeah, nice for
That's
people
awesome.
to come in if they want.
Yeah, that's very cool.
And last but not least, a swag store. We want to build some swag where people can buy a hoodie or a shirt or a mug or whatever with a penguin on it. So yeah, work in progress.
On the point of the swag store, if you own a Penguin NFT like a year from now, I kind of asked some other projects this question, and there's no wrong answer, but just curious, like, would the owner of the NFT have rights to like make their own shirts, or would they go through like you guys to get something like that?
No, so actually we clarified on our very long T's and C's, but basically, if you buy a penguin, you can do whatever the hell you want with it because it's your penguin. That's the rule, plain and simple.
Cool.
So if you go into T's and C's, it says you have unlimited personal use, and then it defines what that means, and then it says you have unlimited commercial use. If you want to build a game with one of the penguins that you own, go right ahead. If you want to make a business and that's your logo, it's your business. We don't care. You bought it, it's yours. That's the principle.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's it. We just have a royalty when you sell it, if you want to sell it. So that's it, really. I, I know, I mean, I've looked at other projects on Solana and Ethereum, and some of them are ridiculously complicated. I mean, you need like 10
Yeah.
lawyers to
Yeah.
understand if you can use it and if you
It
can
seems like
print
you're
it.
what you're saying is kind of in line with what you're saying about the whole community. Like that's a very generous stance. Is the royalty apply to if you're selling the NFT, or are you saying if you're selling a product?
Yeah, just the NFT. So if you have, let's say you have a penguin that's brilliant, one of the very beloved penguins or laser eye or something that's rare. If you're printing a million T-shirts with that penguin, go right ahead. It's your penguin.
Gotcha.
Again,
Cool.
that's it. But if you want to sell that NFT, then of course you have the standard royalty. So
Yeah,
which
totally
is a
standard
part of the money that we
way
get.
that you
Yeah.
would do that. That's very cool. What are your plans past 100%? Do you have like you have a lot of plans already? But is there more plans, or is that kind of encompass the scope of the Penguins project?
At the moment, but you know what's cool with the penguins is that I'm always surprised by the community. So yesterday I woke up and somebody will go to Texas to the Consensus Project. There's like a convention there, and says, "Look, I want to wear a penguin. Can you deliver a shirt?" And I'll say, "Yep, I'll just do it on Monday or Tuesday or something like that." I don't know. I'll be surprised by the community if I don't know there's gonna be a DAO and you get I don't know whatever stuff with a penguin. Yeah, we'll do it. I know people ask us why don't you create like a coin or a token or I know like a community. And I think that that's a good idea. It's just that if we're gonna build that, probably we're not gonna build it ourselves. Probably we're gonna work with somebody else and just let and kind of manage a relationship and donate some penguins
Gotcha.
or kind of associate ourselves with it. But you know what's the reality? We can't do anything everything ourselves. We have our specific skills. And if somebody's better at coding or making DAOs or something like that, great, brilliant. We can work with you then.
So if you had someone approach you and you felt like there was a quality enough project, you would consider doing some kind of
Absolutely.
ice-based DAO.
Absolutely. Yeah, Arctic DAO. Come here
Yeah,
and vote for your next igloo.
that's very
And
cool.
you know what? If you have some polar bears or something like that, or polar foxes, bring them on. Yeah,
Did you
why
want to
not?
speak at all about we kind of talked about in private about the U.S. company side of things. Would you want to speak about that at all?
Oh yeah, sure. So and actually the recent rug pull, I think is the first rug pull happening on Radix, the first official one at least. Um, in the NFT world, obviously people are mostly anonymous. There are a few people who are not, like Thomas Gaffney, who's behind the
Right.
Buffaloes, and a few others who are happy to be public, but most people usually aren't. Like us, we like to be private as well. But then I think, look, how much can you trust a project fundamentally if you don't know who's behind it, and they can disappear at any time? So, so we've consulted a few of our friends, and then a few of our with lawyers that we know in our line of business, and they say, look, it's actually very easy. You don't have to overthink this. incorporate, create a company, put that company name public on your website, and in case somebody wants to sue you, they know who to sue. It's easy. It's not that that will ever gonna happen because we wanna be as fair as possible,
Sure,
but you give, yeah,
but
you
it
give
gives
that extra
confidence.
level of, yeah, it's an extra level of credibility. Plus, it means that if you incorporate, you can protect the IP a little bit better in case I know somebody wants to do something that's not very ethical. And actually, that creates value for everybody that owns a penguin because it
Yeah,
means,
that's
yeah,
super bullish.
yeah, yeah, it means the project is in safe hands. It means we're managing it, in a responsible way. Also, it's easy to trademark. So we've actually trademarked the Radical Penguins name, which basically what all the major projects are doing. So if you want to, I know, to register Bored Apes or CryptoPunks, they're obviously registered. So we thought, you know what? Let's do the same. Let's register them. Why? Because nobody that owns a penguin and that believed in the penguins right now, they don't want to see in a year somebody else that are just creating the new penguins or true penguins, and they're just a cheap ripoff. You want to protect the value of that brand, and that's why we're kind of make it, we're giving it this legal protection
Yeah,
in a way.
that's cool. So if
Yeah.
I tried to like rip off penguins and make like a cheap knockoff, then the trademark would sort of protect your products from that sort of thing.
Fingers crossed. That's what we think.
Yeah,
That's
that's really wise though that you're even planning that sort of thing. And is the company that you're talking about a U.S. based company or UK or maybe you're not to that phase yet?
Oh yeah, no, no, it's a corporate in the US. The company name is called Viking Labs. It's a limited liability company, and you can see the name on our website because a part of the process of doing that is to put the company name public. So yeah, we just said Viking. Why? Because we like Vikings as well, and
Sure.
I, I like traveling to the Nordics and stuff like that. And so the town that I'm living in was a former Viking colony from the 8th
Oh wow,
century. Yeah, I know it's so full of history. It's just crazy.
you're talking about the
Um,
town in the
it's
UK.
the south, yeah, the south.
Because I'm just like playing my Assassin's Creed game, and they're like establishing the Ravenscroft or whatever, and it could be where you live. It's just
Oh,
very
brilliant!
fascinating that it
It
ties into
might
history
as
so
well
quickly.
be. No, it's crazy. Actually, little known piece of history is, so I think they're called the Norsemen, right? In the 8th century, they colonized a part of West France called Normandy from Norsemen, i.e. Normans, i.e. Vikings.
Gotcha.
And yeah, and then like in the 10th century, they conquered England and now basically the UK. I mean, if you go back in history, they're effectively Viking. So that's why we kind of say, Viking labs and labs because
Very
all
cool.
of the major projects are called labs. So that was
Any,
kind of the idea.
anything you want to say before we open up to questions from the community?
Maybe I want to hand over to my partner here. Maybe just anything else on the artwork or I don't know some of your insights that you want to share.
No, I think we've covered most of it so far.
Okay, awesome. Well, does anyone have any questions at all for either Ice Penguin or Art Penguin? If you do have a question, you can just there should be a way to like raise your hand, and then I can give you speaker access.
It's the little heart on the bottom. So if you click on it, you have raise your hand on the right.
What's up, Murtaza? How are you, man? Murtaza's from Afghanistan.
Hello, hello.
Go ahead, Murtaza. You should be able to speak now.
Hi, glad to be here. Just a question is about is there any logic behind putting a value for these NFTs, particularly for the Radical Penguin, because it's very expensive. The question is why is that expensive? And I know they spend a lot of time, they put their energy. But is there any, for example, acceptable logic for all people that they put that high price for that? That was my question, because it's difficult for some people to purchase some. Thank you, Eddie.
Thanks, man. You guys can definitely speak to that. I would just say too, a part of it is set by the market. If you set a price and no one is purchasing it, then you're definitely too high. But you guys' price seems to be doing pretty well. It's even increased over time, which is kind of like from one perspective, it could be high if you're from a background where that's difficult. But of another perspective, it allows people more time to get into the project too. But what do you want to speak to that at all?
Yeah, I mean, we're very sensible to that, to be very honest. And actually, there were a few people that raised that in private. Yeah, it's difficult. It's quite a difficult topic. Um, I remember, I mean, my first acquired NFTs were on Radix. Well, it was actually an abandoned Scorpion, but some of my friends bought other types of NFTs, and they were talking about massive amounts. I mean, 5K, 10K, 50K in US dollars, and I think I always thought that was ridiculous. And then I heard the news on the BBC that I think a Bored Ape was purchased for I don't know how many millions, but the real story was about the gas fee, the dreaded gas fee, which was I don't know almost 500,000 or 400K. So quite big indeed. And I thought only the gas fee from that Bored Ape could buy us out. I don't know. I think in terms of pricing, we're definitely closer to the high end. Similar to nerds, really. I mean, they're 150. That's how we started at 150. There are the projects that are similar as well in terms of the initial sell, so like the meta whales. I think there's calls on the artisan marketplace, which some of them sell for a few thousand XRD as well. So definitely we're not the most expensive. But the real question is not how much there are today. I think the equivalent as of today for a penguin is 22 US dollars. Um, I think the question is where they can go. I remember that when I bought my Scorpions for the first time, I thought, yeah, I'm not gonna sell
Yeah.
anything. This is a waste of time. But I love them, so I'm gonna buy them. And I was happy that other people love them. In terms of, let's say, offering financial advice, I'm very sensitive. So I never on my Telegram or Twitter offer anything that's remotely similar to financial advice. But I always say, look, be very sensible. Don't invest more than you can. If you think this is too pricey, yeah, I empathize with that. I really do. Um,
There's also
for,
the
for,
option of getting
yeah,
into it from giveaways as well, if you have a
absolutely.
chance to do that. And I would say I understand you can't speak on you don't want to give financial advice, which is really wise. But speaking of other chains, it's pretty reasonable price for any other chain. I think that it's just something you have to decide. Like you in the Scorp example of I pay 20 Radix for a Scorp today. It may go down, it may go up. In that case, it went to there was a point early on where a cigarette Scorp or a Halo was like 1,500 Radix, and now it's like maybe 30 to 60,000 Radix. So it's kind of a something that the investor has to decide too as to whether it's appropriate investment in your funds.
Yeah, but you know what I will say? Look, if you have second doubts, don't do it only if you love it. Like if you like the penguins, if you feel if you have good vibes about it and you feel yeah, that's a cool thing, then yeah, get involved if you can, of course. But if not, if you have doubts, don't. For example, I mean, I buy a lot of other Radix NFTs as well. some of them are very popular. If you think about your buffs or pandas or others, some of them are actually not very popular, but I just like them. So I do it because I like them, and I always buy for the art, really. And I'm hoping that others may like it in the future. If not, I have a cool panda that I know I'm gonna enjoy. So treat it as such.
You do have some history too in that you weren't. Is it true that you're the first like 3D Radix NFT?
I mean, as far as I know, yes, we are. Nobody challenged us on that. If I know somebody will tell us, no, we launched it before, and here's the proof on the blockchain, then okay, we're
Right.
happy to hear that. Let me tell you a little story. So, in my work, I meet a lot of wonderful people, and there was this old gentleman that just walked into our office randomly and just asked me to do something. Um, and then I was thinking, who is this guy? He was actually behind me. He was signing some papers, and then I googled him, and then I found that he has a whole bunch of like a massive Wikipedia page on him about what he built and the fact that he's intrinsically linked with e-commerce, and he's the founder of e-commerce and the first person who initiated online payment. And I come, hey, are you that guy? Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. And then I've sold that company for a mass amount of money, and I built a new and I sold it. So yeah, he's effectively an ultra high net worth individual. And then I've asked him the same question. So how do you know you are the first person that made like an internet payment happening? And he said, look, I've just put it out there. For 15 years, nobody challenged me. And then 5 years ago, somebody came and a business, a vineyard in California, who effectively claimed the same thing. So I just went there, had a couple of bottles of wine with them, compared notes, compared some documents, and apparently this guy that I know claim was actually real. He did it like 3 weeks before, and that was it. It's yeah. We hope we're the first one. To the best of my knowledge, we are. But you know what? If somebody else claims to the contrary, I won't hold them against them. I absolutely love my art and the 3D art that we're doing. So and that's yeah, that's why we're doing it. Yeah, I'm just trying to be
I love
as
your art
fair.
too, and that's great. Who else has questions? Anyone else want to say anything? Got some big Radix names in here today. So you got Lucas and Radish King. Alex is going to speak next. Let's get you on here. Be like water. What's up, man? Hey Alex, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. So enjoyed the talk really. Lot of things, new things that we found out today. So I don't really have a question, but since there was a talk of being the first 3D NFT, so I was also under the impression that penguins are the first 3D NFT. But I think someone pointed out that technically root materials is the first 3D NFT. So I just wanted to put it out there. I'm not sure how 3D will consider them to be, but maybe just wanted to bring that out.
Thanks, man. Nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you, man. Thanks.
Cool. Okay. No, that's cool. We'll have a look. We'll see.
We have another request here from Lee.
By the way, guys, I love the interaction. That's a lot. I absolutely, yeah, absolutely love this. Keep it up.
Hey Lee, you can go ahead and speak anytime. How you doing, man? I'm not sure if Lee's going to speak or not. It's kind of hard to figure out when you're first doing it. Got another request here we can take in the meantime.
By the way, I was just googling
Hello.
root materials. Go on. Sorry.
Sorry, somebody called me just as you put the mic on. Apologies. Yeah,
That's okay, man.
it's really interesting conversation. I'm still sort of learning the sort of different angles of the community. I just every time I look on Twitter, there's just more and more and more people. It's really cool, and it's it's an eye opener. I've been in crypto now for like 3 years. I've been in Radix for over a year, probably a year and a quarter. I got a little funny story. I sent over my EXRD to the Polygon wallet as an amateur to try and avoid the ridiculous gas fees. And now they're stuck. So I've got 41,000 EXRD sitting in the Polygon wallet, and I can't get them back over to Trust Wallet.
Oh no,
So
that's terrible.
so that was an
That's
amateur
dreadful.
mistake there that I've learned my lesson. And I was also using Uniswap, and I realized I actually really didn't need to use it, so I was just literally wasting gas fees and I'm amateur moves and amateur mistakes that you later sort of realize as as you grow further. And
They're not mistakes, you're learning, buddy.
yes,
Believe me, you're learning. Some people pay, college and university and they don't learn, but you're learning and you'll never forget that and you'll do better the next time. And that's how I learned. I've lost a lot of money in the process. But yeah, I don't know. I don't regret it. I'm just happy that I'm where I am.
yeah, no, I agree. I've succumbed to a few things the last. I got scammed. I gave out the stupid seed phrase when I first started because I was working, I wasn't concentrating, and I realized I got scammed. Lost at the time about $5,000, but probably at the peak of the bull run, it was probably $30,000-$40,000. So yeah,
Oh,
what doesn't break you makes you stronger, as they say, right?
ouch. Ouch. That must have hurt.
But I'll never make that mistake again. And now anybody, I don't really sort of. I try to red pill people, but I find even if they're interested or not, there's just such a lack of so many things for the average person, especially if they are not very well tech minded. And I mean that as like a broad spectrum, like. I tried to explain things to my mum and other friends. My cousin's looking into Radix. I've been shilling Radix to my cousin for some time now, but I made it abundantly clear: don't get into something that you don't understand just because somebody's telling you to get into it. You know, get some understanding of it, learn about the fundamentals, do some research, and it is so true. I'm so grateful that we are in this period that we are in now. I know a lot of people still don't want to accept it's a bear market or whatever you want to call it, but it's so true. Time in the market is so valuable. It doesn't matter whether you have £500, £5,000, 50,000, whatever. I just think that now the projects are starting to show their real colours, and maybe we're going to be in this period for a long time. Who knows? But I've been watching the price, and Radix has held very well, and a couple of other tokens. So it's nice to see what shit coins there are, and what really is sort of showing its true colours. So I'm just really fascinated listening to you guys. I don't have a coding background or a developer or anything like that. I work at sea as a captain, but I'm really fascinated and interested about all this technology, and I have been learning and watching Dan's videos and the one with Piers and Dan on YouTube, where they go into really sort of technical stuff. And I probably don't understand a lot of it, but I'm just really interested in it. So I just wanted to basically say hello, and what you guys are doing is cool, and I respect your time and effort, and we all have this inherent responsibility to make this happen, because we don't want this to go into the record books as we tried to rewrite finance and then we failed. Like we all do have that personal responsibility. And so I'm proud to be able to participate in this. I'm proud that I can educate my daughter. She's 14 soon. I'm not trying to. This is the hard thing I'm finding as a parent, and I don't know if anybody else in the spaces can relate to this if they're a father or a mother. But there is a real lack of a go-to place to start bite-sized stuff. Like a sort of set, a sort of set agenda of, this is point A, this is point B, this is point C. So I'm really looking forward to seeing sort of educational things coming out, because I think that we have such a lack of it. I know there's obviously a lot of information to be found online, but if you're not, savvy, as should we say, then I literally would talk to someone for a whole of 2 minutes and talk about a protocol or a layer one or a layer two or an oracle, and they're not even interested. That I've lost their attention span at that point, So yeah, just really interesting. I would like to get some NFTs. I do have intentions of getting NFTs. I do really agree with the point that you made in relation to that. You should only buy it if you really want it, and not use it as a leverage to make more money, because there are risks associated with everything that we do in this space. So yeah, just wanted to say, keep doing what you're doing, guys, and your time and your energy and your effort is well noticed, and it doesn't go unnoticed. And if Dan's listening or listens to this, I'd love to be able to meet everybody at some point. I'm in Wales in the UK, but yeah, just thank you for your time.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much, Liam. I mean, your words are very encouraging. Absolutely. Fun fact, I did want to go for my skipper's certificate, but before that I had to do like a day crew and then competent crew, and there are a few levels, but I never got around to do it. So yeah, no, being in the seats, it's absolutely amazing. So that's cool. Regarding education, oh my God, don't get me started on that. The thing is, there are tons of videos, but most of those are, quite frankly, crap. A lot of the time, somebody's paid to effectively shill a coin or a product or an NFT. And for me, being a part of the Radical Penguins was an eye opener, because every day I get offers from random influencers, some of them well known, saying, "Pay me $200 and I will talk about your coin and retweet about your NFT to my followers, or make a YouTube video for $500. And I'm thinking, those are very, very small amount of money that somebody in a position of influence will take, and yeah, just show them to their followers. So I'm the more I'm into this space, the more skeptical I am myself. And you're right, there's no real place where you can educate yourself, and this is very sophisticated. I mean, you talked about layer ones, and obviously you have layer twos, roll-up protocols, you have zero knowledge, you have so many complex things. Recently we've seen Luna. By the way, I was a big fan of Luna as well, and the whole idea of an algorithmic stablecoin, and that basically kind of went up in flames. So yeah, it's difficult, but we are seeing the birth of a new industry. There is bound to be some high amount of volatility, and that's cool. As long as you can take that risk and you do that knowingly, and you don't bet the farm. That's very important. Never bet the farm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what you're saying is all true, and I also think that without giving financial advice, we're in a great position as an ecosystem, because the market being in a bear state is really good timing, I feel like, for Radix, considering all the growth that is coming up in the future. I think that ZN, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, might coincide around the next Bitcoin halving, and then we've got the Babylon update coming soon, and you look at all the growth of what we have here. Like all these people are here, and we're talking for hours, and we don't even have smart contracts yet. And it's just a really without like do your own research, do your own due diligence. But it's great to be at this point with us being so early.
I think in 5, 10, 20 years, we'll look back at this point and realize, hopefully, that this was history in the making, and this was a unique moment where, yeah, this was a unique moment. I hope. I'm really hoping.
Same. Muffin, did you want to say something?
Yeah, obviously I want to make history, right? Do you guys hear me?
Yes, we do.
I am a bit drunk. I'm gonna be honest with you, all of you. I love you all. Honestly, though, you see me on Twitter probably. You probably see me on the fucking Telegram like a fuck ton. I'm the biggest chiller probably in the Telegram. But I love you all. You're beautiful people. Yes. Yeah.
Likewise, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, honestly though, to anyone, I think to us, we should have like a voice thing on the Telegram. I think that would be great for the. I think it would be great for the shilling, whatever. Like have a call, like you know, like if we had an ongoing like voice call on the trader chat, not the normal one, it would be probably like nice, I guess. But either way, yeah, I'm gonna get to the point. So love you all, and I mean, like fucking yeah. Nah, I'm too drunk to talk. To be honest, though, love you all. Hey, by the way, hey, shit, I want the fucking muffin radish, and by the way, I also want to win at some fucking giveaway soon. Yeah, you give me a fucking win. I'm waiting for it. Yeah, let's go, dude. Let's go.
Brilliant.
And one more thing, though. Okay, last thing. Uh, this comes to any project. I just hate to see this shit. Radix is not part of it because you don't lock things in, but never ever fucking lock shit up for years. Never. Like crypto is so fucking early still, and you never know what happens, right? But Radix, thus far, amazing, and I hope we will be like the first one rolling out, right? It will be that will be cool. Yeah, let's see. Okay, I'm done. Bye. Hey.
Thanks, man.
Amen.
It
Yeah,
was a pleasure.
good one. Wow, superb. Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. If you're on a longer project, probably this is the one, right? Yeah, I'm mind blown by the community and the passion that every one of you has. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. And by the way, this is probably a very subtle observation, but when I'm talking with anyone from the community, we always talk about the cool stuff, the NFTs, the technology, the future. We talk about Babylon, we talk about Xi'an, and so on and so forth. We never talk about when Lamborghini and when Moon and when Radix $1,000 because that's what I dreamed last night. We don't. We talk about the cool stuff. We talk about revolutionizing DeFi, and that has power, right? It means we're in it for the right reasons. Hopefully, that means this is a project which can absolutely make it. And that's what I personally believe. And that's why I'm here. And that's what I'm creating here.
I agree. It's like the classic Dan story about this disenfranchised individual that nobody wants to give him a loan, and he comes and gets on their Radix chain and is able to like take care of himself.
Absolutely.
What? Anyone else have any questions? I think we're about done here then. So if there's any like closing remarks you want to make at all, Ice or Radical Creator, then I'd like to hear it, and then we'll probably wrap things up.
Don't know, guys. Don't forget to be awesome. I absolutely love you guys. Get in touch with me. Drop me a message on Twitter or Telegram. I always try to respond to people, even if I'm busy in my life as well. But I'm always trying to respond. And yeah, just make this a very fun and enjoyable experience. And that's just great for if you do that. It will be amazing for everybody as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you in real life at some point. I'm sure we'll have an event. I'm sure we'll do something in a few of the major cities, and I'm hope to actually see you all to to drink a couple of pints or more, and yeah, Yeah, don't forget to be awesome.
Thanks
That's
for
it from
coming out,
me.
man. It's great to have both of you here. It was really insightful. I think we all learned a lot about your project, and it's also great as a community to get together and just chat with people. And we don't always get that on Twitter and Telegram. So thank you for coming out and talking with us. And it's good to see you all. And it's good to hear a lot about the details of your project. And you sound very passionate, which is really awesome. I expected you would be. It's awesome to hear it. And thank you again.
Thank you,
Well,
everyone. Thank you for tuning in.
and thank you for Kilovoltage for inviting us. Happy to participate in any other community events or stuff or giveaways or really meaningful things that you might have planned. For me, it's all about the community. If you can build a community, you're doing the right things. And I always have this saying, look, the first web was about selling stuff, about selling services. Well, about selling services. The second web was all about selling data, i.e. your data that nobody purchased from you, but they kind of harvested. The third web, Web 3.2, is all about community. If you can build a community, you're winning. And obviously, everybody wants to be in the winning community. So hopefully that's what we're going to build here. And yeah, just be freaking awesome. That's it from me, guys. Enjoy.
Love it, man. Thanks again. You guys have a great evening. Bye bye.
Cheers. Bye bye.